Hello and welcome to Moonlit Lioness. And this is Stargazing Sunday for the week of July 5th through July 11th, Sunday through Saturday. Um, I have had so many technical difficulties. I am really feeling this Mercury retrograde and Mars conjunct Uranus. I was born under a Mercury retrograde, so usually I don't experience a lot of issues, but wow. I've been switching out computers and trying to get my sound to work and trying to juggle that with getting ready for a quick trip to see family, and it's just been crazy. And then I've got excuse my old wrinkled up shirt here, but this is one of those days, and I'm just going to try to get it in there before my daughter gets up where I need to take care of her. So those are all my things going on. But let's talk about what's going on this week. That's why you're here, and I'm so glad you are here with me, and I'm honored that you're spending your time with me. Um, so let me go ahead and share my slides for this week. Okay. Yes. Um, I think you're seeing that. I'm pretty sure that's what you're seeing. Yeah, it looks like it. I've got this new computer too, and it looks so different from my old one. It's hard to adjust sometimes to this. Okay, I think you can see everything here. So for the week of July 5th through the July 11th, and I'm going to do it right now in front of you. I look up every time I start a video and I forget to change my name to my moniker. Oh, it won't let me change it. Oh, there it goes. So, hey, Moonlit Lioness here. Okay, so this week, we've got a clear beginning, middle, and end kind of thing going on where at the beginning of the week, we've got Mars and Gemini trining Pluto and Aquarius, and that's kind of left over from what's been it happened last night, and now it's still kind of happening today. We've got this trine going on with Pluto as part of that grand mini trine. And then the Sun in Cancer, square Saturn in Aries, and just a couple days later, Neptune is going retrograde, which it does. It goes retrograde for about half a year every year. So a subtle energy that we're very familiar with. I would say the strongest energy from that is the moment it goes retrograde because, there's a moment of stationary where it's stationary in the sky before it turns around and goes the other, from our view anyway, it turns around and goes the other direction. And so um, the strongest feel of it will probably be when it actually goes retrograde on July 7th, which also happens to be the day that our grand mini trine of the outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto come to an exact 4-degree aspect with each other. So that'll be kind of in the middle of the week. And then at the end of the week, we've got Venus entering into Virgo. And at that very moment, trining Chiron in Taurus. And at the same time, it's conjuncting our south node, which on my slide, it shows like a north node. And yeah, AI has trouble with the glyphs. Doesn't always get those right, but we're working on it. Um, as for moon phases, we're in the fourth quarter moon. We've just come off of a full moon in Capricorn, and the moon is waning now. And in the middle of the week, we'll hit a fourth quarter moon, waning down to a new moon. And we're going from this place of Pisces energy into Gemini energy. And, Pisces is compassionate, intuitive, spiritual, creative, seeking closure. Aries is, and you wonder how that works. It's just kind of this subtle undercurrent that might drive you. Like some days you feel like getting up and you don't want to do anything. That might be more of a Pisces energy. And then another day you just want to kind of sit back and either escape or reflect or, commune with, do a meditation or something. And then another day you just may feel like, yeah, I'm gonna get this done, get that done. And And, it might be more of a energetic Aries energy. So, it's that undercurrent of the moon cycles, I think, that help, excuse me, help drive us. Okay, so this is kind of the overview of the week, and I'm going to get into the storyline. And let's see here, move on to the next one. Can I do that? Nope, that doesn't work. So we'll do this. All right, so um, here on the beginning of the week, of course, we've got the Mars trine Pluto. And what does that mean? Well, Mars is in Gemini. It's all information. It's trining Pluto. So it's like there's this great emphasis on new information, whether you're learning it coming in from the outside or you're just getting these downloads on your own or whatever. But there's just a lot of information and thoughts and thinking going on, and it's changing how we perceive things, with that trine to Pluto. Pluto is slow. It's the death card. It's the slow change into something different and new. So we've got that, and then the sun squared Saturn. And the sun is our drive, our purpose, our where we want to shine. And when it's in a square, there's a kind of thing going on. You feel a little bit of a something's not right and I got to fix it kind of feeling. And it being square to Saturn, that's our where we're committed to the things that we've been building or working on. So we're feeling like, oh, something needs to change in our structures and our foundations. Um, I'm showing this on our storyline here. So the way we left the story last week is that with the Mars coming in, the Mars conjunct Uranus, Uranus is like this futuristic, independent, kind of unique sort of thing, and Mars is energy and all that. So I had our future self come into the picture, kind of pop into the picture, kind of like as that futuristic element, providing some information to our Sun and Cancer heroine here about what's going on. So she found a crack in her house. That's a crack in our foundations, which is showing up, especially also in the Chiron and Taurus. And and then she's looking to see what it is. And there, of course, there's something deeper going on, something more fundamental and down deep, not something she can just patch over and fix right off the top. So, so that the continuing story is that now we're learning, the future self is revealing to her these tunnels, they were used for trafficking children. People disappeared through here long ago. I did try to get AI to talk about, and it gave me a big flag and said, "You can't do that." And I'm like, okay, tell me what I can do. And so it did tell me what I could do, and it was a little more subtle. And I was like, fine, go ahead and do that. And then it said trafficking children anyway. So, hey, all right, whatever. It's interesting working with AI. But anyway, so the tunnels, it's so the story is, she's finding something deeper, a wound, something that's going on here with these systems and structures underneath her own house. And people disappeared here a long time ago. And then we've got the inspector, kind of our Saturn guy. He's there seeing, oh, look, they couldn't put a skeleton, so he's just showing, hey, look, it looks like there's evidence of human remains down here in this tunnel. So that's kind of the energy is that, there's an issue going on, and we're learning that the system around us is not working in the best way that it should. And so we might be like in our own personal lives, on a grand scale, systems aren't working like they should, something something needs to change here. So let's move on to number 3. Okay, so we get to the middle of the week and Neptune goes retrograde. And here you can see on our astrology chart that grand mini trine of the outer planets. And it doesn't show it on here, Neptune retrograde, but when the degree turns red on this particular system, that means it's retrograde. But That is the case. July 7th, it is going retrograde. That's when we're probably going to feel it the strongest. Um, and it is where this grand mini trine reaches perfection. I did read a short and put it out just today. I'm recording this early for Sunday, but I put out a short about what does the grand mini trine, what is the intention of this from universe? What is this heralding in? What is it doing for us? And what I got from that tarot read was that it's actually it's like the Great Awakener. Nothing can stop what is coming, you know? Um, it is the thing. It's waking people up. They're being urged to look into things. So in our story, that's what we're showing here. So we've got the Sun in Cancer heroine saying, I need to know more about this. What really went on here? But her future self would not tell her everything. She says, you become the person you see before you by doing your own research. You have to put in the work. And that is the case for a lot of us. Q would only tell us so much, and then we had to do our own research. So it's kind of like that sort of energy. And here we've got AI's attempt at showing the grand mini trine. But what it's showing here, and it has Uranus and Neptune ideas mixed up, but we've got um, meditation can be the Neptune thing. And that's what our future self is saying. If you meditate and connect with the right people, you will find the answers about what's been going on here. That's what the future self is saying, and the AI put it into this format. It should have put it in the bubble, but it put it over here. And it's coming from this grand mini trine, this idea to discover more about um, life and to change our systems for the better, a more humanitarian Aquarius type system. So, okay, enough of that. Let's move on to the next part of the story. And at the end of the week, we've got Venus entering Virgo. All right, so when Venus enters Virgo, I'm a Virgo, Venus in Virgo natal chart. Yeah, so it's in its fall. Every planet likes to be in a certain sign where it's exalted, or if it's in its home sign, it's in domicile, or it's in its rulership. And the reverse of that on the opposite side. So the opposite of Venus in Virgo is Venus in Pisces. So that's where it would be exalted. But when it's in Virgo, it's in fall. And it simply means it's not really a place it likes to be, or it's Venus is about attraction. And attraction is not going to be the main thing for Venus and Virgo. Venus and Virgo is like for example, I was an analyst. I was a systems analyst before I stayed home to take care of my kids and went on to other stuff. Now I'm analyzing astrology. But Venus in Virgo is about someone who is attracted to and likes to um, analyze things. It can be related to health or pets as well. But it's not considered one of the most attractive places for Venus to be. It's about analyzing stuff. So when Venus goes into Virgo, and it's going to be there, I don't think for quite a month. I was going to look into how long, and I can't recall. But when it's in there for the next 3 weeks anyway, it's going to be about us analyzing things, about us looking over things, about us examining. If it has a trine right here to Chiron and Taurus, that's that crack in the house. Okay, that's the crack in our foundation. That's the problems with our systems and structures. So, what's not working for you in your personal life? What's not, it's, you're going to start thinking about how to correct that. And the thing is, it's also connected in this Uranus, not Uranus, this South Node, North Node, South Node in Virgo, North Node and Pisces opposition. So we're learning also to not only just do analysis, but let go of it. So what does that mean? Let me tell you. I made my notes so that it could be more clear, but so we might have this desire because of Venus and Virgo to critique things and analyze things, but at the same time, not over critique or not over analyze, and maybe actually balance that out with a little more internal knowing, with connection to the divine and things like that. And or kind of having this internal compass telling us, what we have been listening to, these sources of information are not correct, and what we need to do is go over to another source of information that's going to be more correct. So it's kind of like an adjustment in our analysis process that's going on with this move. And you can see that the nodes are at 0 degrees. That means that they are going to go retrograde and stay in Virgo Pisces a little longer, but it won't be long before they'll be moving into Leo Aquarius. And then it'll be a whole different situation as far as where adjustments are being made. Uh, Anyway, so in our story here, you can see that she's doing her own analysis. She's doing the investigation as her future self. It has encouraged her to do. And she's got books on things and she's making notes and I told AI to put a picture of a white rabbit on the screen and I didn't say any more about it. And it's the one that put follow the white rabbit on there. So I imagine it already knows some things, has access to some of this stuff for sure. But anyway, so she's starting to do her own investigations, and this is perfect for Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde is looking back, reassessing, um, things, and it is ruling Mars and Gemini, which Mars and Gemini is about having a lot of energy and focus on thinking and communicating and things like that. So, all right. So that is our story for the week. And if we just go one more, I will show you what I think might be happening on the world stage based on these energies. So I think we're going to have continued disclosures. We've been having a lot right now. I think this past week with the Supreme Court ruling against the birthright citizenship, and other things. I think it's a big flag for people who aren't quite aware, who haven't been aware, and that our systems are failing us, and that's the big crack in the house, right? Our systems are failing us, and there's something deeper. We have to understand why, but they're at least paying attention. It's paying attention. So now it's going to fall on to the Congress to possibly make an amendment. And do we think they're going to do that before the recess in August? Because they take a recess in August for about a month. I don't know. They haven't passed the SAVE Act yet to fix our voting problems. So um, it's not looking very promising, but we'll see. So this is leading to desires by the people to change and or clean up our government systems. People need to speak up and speak out about this. We need to change what's happening right now. Something is wrong, obviously. Okay. And then when Mercury stations direct, right now it's in retrograde. So it's going to station direct July 23rd. And about a week after that, our grand mini trine, which is, as I said, I did a read on that, and Tarot told me that it's about the Great Awakening. It's about people waking up. So what happens? It's falling apart around July 31st. We've had it for the past year, an aspect, and that aspect is starting to fall apart after July 31st. It's the perfection is over, and it's starting to fall apart, and it won't come back together like it did from last year to this year. So the time of reflection and waking up is over. And with Mercury going direct and this thing kind of falling apart, it's time to move on and do something about the problems that we've discovered, the corruption and all the issues. So there is definitely scrutiny of the systems with the Venus and Virgo. So perhaps more information will come out, especially with Venus about money, because Venus rules money. So, and it's also conjuncting the South Node. So Venus and Virgo, um, conjunction to south node can show potential losses of some sort. Maybe the stock market will go down some or something like that. I don't know. This is not financial advice. I'm just saying what the possibilities are based on looking at the astrology. So we'll just have to wait and see. The aspects of nodes to Chiron, I showed you the nodes were making like a right angle triangle to Chiron and Taurus. This points to problems in our financial system. So I'll go back and show you that real quick. So if you look at the chart here, there's a right triangle. So these nodes are aspecting this Chiron and Taurus, the crack in the house, and Venus is part of that. So I think there's going to be a focus this week on our financial system and the problems and faults in our financial system. Just based on, if not this week, shortly thereafter, because sometimes, things don't happen right on the time of the aspect. Sometimes, there's an orb of influence. Sometimes it happens right before, sometimes it happens a little bit after. The timing is not always exact. So, all right. Now what I'd like to do is go ahead and do a tarot read. And let me go ahead and share. And let's hope it all shows up for you. Working with a new system sometimes. Yeah, so sometimes the camera zooms in, sometimes it zooms out. So now you're seeing my wires and everything else, but just gonna have to go with it. What can I do? I've had so many issues. It's been crazy. Ugh. So anyway, over time, things will change. Anyway, so I want to do a read, and what I'm getting here is I'm not even getting I'm not even getting the camera like I want. Let me try again. Second camera, share. Okay, let me stop share. How do I stop share? Stop now. Like I said, I don't. Oh, okay. I had a switch camera thing. All right, let me zoom in so you don't have to see all my crud. There we go. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate it. Okay, so I'm going to do a triangle, like our pyramid spread last time. All right, I'm going to do a pyramid for this week. What are the energies for this week? What do you want us to know regarding this week ahead? Past, present, future, and influence. Two advice cards and outcome. All right. So we've got the past, the emperor. That's us in control of ourselves and our lives. And then we've got the Two of Pentacles at the present. So that's about us perhaps feeling like, not as secure, not as, maybe a little more juggling going on, maybe a little more. I feel like I'm juggling right now, I'll tell you, with my computer issues, it's crazy, but trying to butt up against my vacation. It's like, if you want to call it a vacation. Okay, future, Seven of Wands. Okay, so this week it looks like we're going from a place where things are stable. The Emperor is a four, it's a stability, to where it's getting a little bit uh unstable to the point where we feel like we're, and this is a weekly energy, but it feels like um yeah, we're kind of fighting off attacks. So that's what this card is about, someone fighting off or trying to maintain position. So So we're going from a place of stability to unbalancedness and then trying to maintain a position. So if I had to say, this is a stock market, I would say, and again, I'm not calling for anything. I'm not predicting anything. This is not financial advice. I'm just saying, if this were a stock market read, I would say it's going to lose some stability this week. The hidden influence here is the King of Wands, and the King of Wands is um, it's kind of like somebody, the King of Wands is a Leo card, and it's somebody who is very good. They're at the top of their game because they're not a queen, a jack, or not a jack, but a queen, a knight, or a page. So they're at the top of their game, and it has to do with passion and your career. But it also is Leo, and it has to do with drama. So, with the hidden influence here, I would say there could be some uh, drama or like over exaggeration of the events that are going to go on this week in the news, maybe some drama. Okay, and then we get the two extra advice cards, and we've got the Queen of Pentacles and the Nine of Cups, and I think it's just saying. And this, I on my friend's Friday, I got this message and I was a little dumbfounded by it and I was trying to explain it, but it became a little more clear afterwards, which often happens. Yeah, you look back and you say, "Oh, I think I know what that meant." But it's being reiterated here in the Queen of Pentacles and the Nine of Cups. And I think it's that there's going to be ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs this week. Could be financial and it could be something else, but it's saying, sit back, enjoy the ride. It's going to all come out well in the end. Um, with the Queen of Pentacles and Nine of Cups, it's kind of saying, just stay stable. It's all going to be fine, right? And then the outcome card is the Ace of Cups. Wow. Okay. So see, and I guess this is kind of showing you what it's going to come out well in the end. Um, yeah. So with Ace of Cups, it's like a new creative beginning. It almost, cups rule emotions and even some spirituality here with that dove, especially coming in and, um, things are overflowing. So, and creativity comes from the creative mind, which is also a connection to source. So, I feel like, we've got this week, there's going to be a period of instability and it might be exaggerated. And there's a point where you have to trust. And, I hate to tell people, don't do anything. It's all going to be okay. I don't really like, so do what you need to do to feel comfortable. But there is this message that's more than once where it's like, it's going to turn out okay. It's going to turn out all right. If you feel like all is lost, it's not all lost. There's something new coming here. And this week, um, it'll be interesting to see what happens because this week, it's after the 4th. It's after the Grand Mini Trine has reached its perfection. Neptune goes retrograde, and it's like, okay, now it's time I think there's going to be some financial disclosure. We've seen a lot about how our our court systems are not working for us. Our legislators, our government officials are not working for us. And I think maybe there's going to be a more of a focus this coming week about maybe how our banking and financial system is not working for us. That's kind of what I'm seeing. So, but it's all going to be good. So, I hope you have a wonderful week and just meditate and commune with Source and um, don't go overboard. Just make sure you have a trust uh, some trust in that. So, and that's it for the week. So I hope you enjoyed my read, and I should leave it here, but everything's on camera now, so I got to get used to the idea. Okay, it's all on camera. Um, I hope you enjoyed the read. Um, I will be doing a What's the Word Wednesday coming up on Wednesday. And I just hope you have a great week, and I hope you'll join me then for What's the Word Wednesday. Take care.